I like that. That was cathartic. My cat was here looking at me like, "What's wrong
Oh
with you,
my.
human being? Why are you acting like that?"
Because we're having fun, Kitty. Because we're
Yes.
having fun. Hello, beautiful spirit.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, darling.
Happy Taco Tuesday to all you
Oh,
gorgeous.
yes. Wonderful to have you here. Yeah.
Yes, this is where we get together. We have drinks. We have a little tequila. If that's your
Mm. Oh,
thing, if that's
tequila's
what you know,
good.
I'm having some delicious coffee. You want to know what hell is for me? Let me tell you what
What is hell for you? Let me know.
hell is for Whimsy. Okay, I ordered Pete's Coffee discounted on Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Buy 38 ounces or whatnot for $28. I got a deal. Anyway, the point is this. They delivered it on the 7th,
Yes.
but they delivered it to the wrong locked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they don't know which one. So
This was Amazon,
I
right?
go there, and the man is like from Amazon dropping off packages, and I said, "You guys dropped it off to the wrong box because I'm punching in. It's electric, and I'm supposed to get my coffee, and I'm not
Yeah,
getting.
you gotta have your
I'm
coffee.
complaining. I gotta have my coffee." So
Oh, God.
so here, this is an addict. Okay, I said to the guy, I said, "Break it open." Break the damn thing open. He said, but there's like 50 lockers. I'm like, it's in one of these lockers. He's like, I'm not going to open every one of
I
the
want my
lockers. So
coffee.
get me my damn coffee. Anyway, I found that I had hid about a quarter of a pound. So while they figure out that mess,
Oh.
I do have a quarter to live on until
Oh.
redemption.
Well,
Until redemption comes. Yes.
that'll see you through about a day or so.
Yes. Knowing me only a day or so. How are you? The
Ah,
fires, you said, you were having some lung problems.
well, I've
Oh, do
had
tell.
some sort of virus or whatever the last few days. So I may be the one coughing today. I might have to go out of camera range to blow my nose. I'm much better now. I'm able to do the show. Sunday, I was talking like this. I had almost no voice at all. Yesterday, I was kind of halfway. Today, I have a full voice again. So I don't know if it's a virus or it's because of these fires. Because like after 911, when people in New York were breathing in all of that debris, so many people were getting sick. And there are
Mhm.
theories here in Los Angeles because a lot of stuff burned that was obviously not meant to ever burn, all went up in the air, and now supposedly we're all breathing this. And an intuitive healer even said to me yesterday, she thinks my body may be just pushing that out. It may be like a detox.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But I've had a lot of mucus, watery eyes.
What color's the mucus? What is it?
Um, Actually, a normal color. Not that disgusting green and not
And
brown.
so no, maybe no infection.
No, I don't think there is an infection, and I don't have any other signs. No fever, no fatigue, anything. Just other than this awful
Yeah,
sinus.
I was getting dust. And I was getting allergies the last
Pardon
couple
me.
of weeks. Yeah, that's what I had a couple of weeks ago. Remember when I had that
Yes.
cough and I had to go to the doctor and then I had
Yeah.
to launder my cat and you guys were like
Yeah.
accusing me of smoking too much weed? No, too much weed was what happened in November after Trump got elected.
Yes, as many of us probably needed to.
Yes.
But for me, my voice mostly has been because of the signage drainage.
Yes, that's what happened to me. It kept
Really.
doing that to the back of my throat. It made me cough and it made me cough, and I had to go to the doctor. And
And
same thing, just a constant dripping in the back. I still have it.
Mhm.
But after I cleaned the house and laundered the cat, it's much better.
Yeah, I normally don't have allergy issues, certainly not cat, but I think that's an interesting point
I
someone
think
made
it's the
about the
dust. I think
allergy.
there's something in the dust when this time of year or something, because you're having the same symptoms I had last month.
Yeah, and also we're having some rain here in Los Angeles. In fact, we have another big
Oh,
storm
that's
coming in
good.
tonight.
That's good though.
It is good, but I've told that rain brings a lot of things down, a lot of pollution,
No.
toxins, and it could be just all the junk from all these fires. So it
Mm.
makes sense because I usually don't get anything like this.
Mhm. Well, I know you guys sure need the rain. Well,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and say hi to everybody that's
Oh,
here,
yes.
and thank you so much, everyone who has joined the stream. Hopefully, you've liked and subscribed. Who's all here? What's going on?
Well, we have Joanne and we have Merritt and we have Scott, and we have Angie and Rose, and of course our wonderful Joel Tilson and Anna,
Mm-hmm.
Jill, and let's see here,
Like Romper
Susie,
Room, yes.
Dana, yes, like Romper Room. Uh, let's see, Tarot Ask Backwards. Tarot Ask Backwards. I like that
But
name.
I like
Wanted
that
to make sure I
name
pronounced that
very
right. Ask
much.
Backwards.
Wow.
Toll
Cool.
Booth. That's a great name.
Oh my
Rose
goodness.
Blue.
Fran, why aren't
Alan.
you online? Fran, we sent you a join button. There's Fran. I see
Oh,
Fran. Fran, where are
yeah.
you?
Scorpio 8763. Jeffrey Strong. Pippi Longstocking. Oh, we've got some great names here. Great people too behind the names. Yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I see Fran in the
Fran.
audience. Fran needs to log on to I don't know if she knew that she was here at the studio restream that she needs to go in. She needs to enter the before 6 o'clock. She was supposed to be here before the pre-show.
Oh, our wonderful author.
Yes.
She's coming through. Good.
Fran FL Calb, you're in you need to come into the studio before 6 p.m. There's the link. I just sent it. You should see it says host. Anyway, we are having a book club at 6 o'clock with FL Calb. We'll be talking about her latest book. I finished it today, and I really liked it.
Yeah. Fun escapism there.
Well, you know what I liked about it? I liked the fact that we always fall in love with the people that challenge us. Like there's a little bit of that romance here. Like the woman that makes you nervous, the guy that makes the person that calls you out. No, you're not supposed to be here, Fran. You're supposed to be in our studios, not live oh, there you go. Now, here we go. Let's see here. I liked the fact that
oh my
gosh, we always fall in love with the people that challenge us. There's a little bit of that romance here, like the woman that makes you nervous, the guy that makes the person that calls you out. No, you're not supposed to be here, Fran. Okay, you're supposed to be in our studios, not live as an. I hear myself talking. Here we go.
Sounds like it's on a delay.
I liked the fact that we always fall in love with. Where's this coming from? There's a little bit of that romance. The woman that makes you. I don't even know who this. Why it's doing that? Oops.
I think she. Oh,
it's because she was on.
Yeah, she was here. I think it's like several seconds behind.
Right. Okay. So she has to put her things on. But yeah, I just wanted to test that. She was supposed to come into the studios at 4:45 to test. It was a little bit of a miscommunication. So Fran, if Fran can come back before 6 o'clock, we'll have her back. Then just hold you there, Fran, and then we'll bring you in at 6 o'clock. But make sure to be here at 6, Fran. Sorry about the there was some confusion there, but yeah, I enjoyed the book. I liked the romantic aspect. I also liked the fact that she got into the multiple generations, so you really had to know the characters, the families, and also how families can have karma and unfinished business. Yeah, and all that cool stuff. So there was a lot of cool stuff in the book, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to Fran a little bit later about all of that. So you want to get into the news a little?
Oh, yes.
Looks like somebody came and wasn't it nice that President Musk let little Donnie sit in the big chair?
Oh my gosh. Did you watch any of the press conference today?
I didn't, but you were going to tell me about it. I'll try and find it.
Well, I didn't. I just saw a little bit of it on the national news. You know, they do a live feed of it here at 3:30 in the afternoon. I saw a few minutes of it. But what intrigued me, it was Trump sitting at the desk, making it very clear, I am the president. And Elon was there standing beside him.
Okay.
And he had his little boy. Yes, he had his little boy with him. And my immediate thought was, well, he's trying to humanize himself. Oh, look, I'm a daddy with my little boy, you know, to make himself seem more warm and cuddly to people. And this is not to impugn that little boy in any way, shape, or form. But all I could think of was Dr. Evil and Mini-Me. Remember?
Yeah, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me.
Remember from Austin Powers?
And you know what else I know about that little kid?
What?
He found the scissors early.
Oh, and I bet he runs.
You see that little scissor cut? That's a little boy who found the scissors.
I bet he runs with scissors too.
Looks like he just chopped off half of his hair. I think that was probably his creation. But yeah, I used to do that too. I used to just chop at my hair and do all kinds of stuff. That's right around the age when you discover kids' scissors and you start cutting your, and then they have to take you to a professional barber to try and fix it. And that's like that is what
I remember. I never did it, but I remember other kids who did it.
You never cut your own hair?
No, I guess I was too vain even then to try a thing like that. But I had a good friend of mine. She said when she was like 5 years old and her little sister was 2, her little sister had long blonde hair, beautiful long blonde hair. They were watching television and she got a hold of a pair of scissors and she just started cutting all of her hair off. And the little girl just sat there laughing and thinking it was the funniest thing until their mother got home and practically had a conniption fit when she saw her bald little girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I know.
I know. But you know, that's when you give the kid a pixie. I one time I did it and I wound up with that kid because there's a huge chunk there. But yeah, they gave me a little pixie and it looked kind of cute too. At first, it was like I had a little ball, but then when it grew out, it looked like a cute little pixie.
I know.
But
I mean,
I hated it.
He is a cute little boy, though.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't want people to think I was making a sick joke about a sweet, innocent little boy. But didn't you think that, Dr. Evil and Mini-Me?
Well, I think that, if we love our children, we don't trash them in the news because they're transgender and all the other things that he's done to his children.
I thought it was a very deliberate thing, having his little boy there. It was meant purely as a publicity stunt thing to humanize him.
Yeah, I mean, he and Grimes, I guess. He only gets to see him like one weekend a week or so. I don't know.
Something like that, but it just did not seem appropriate to me.
Yeah. Now, in other news, it looks like it's already been pointed out that there's King Abdullah showed up. Yes, you know the king. Have you been hanging out with the king lately?
No, I can't say that I have, Whimsy. I haven't been keeping up with royalty.
Well, aren't you droll? You're just so droll. Yes. Well, the good King Abdullah, yes, of Jordan, yes. He's willing to take 2,000. Lovely, yeah. So that's nice, but no, the world leaders are not going to let somebody violate international law. So now Trump is saying that he's not going to take Gaza to become part of America. He's just going to take it to oversee this portion. Now, let's be clear here. This portion, if he's not going to supply ground troops, if he's not really going to be the taking over, because that would violate international laws, what exactly is he taking over when he says he's taking over the rebuild? Money, 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 money.
Yeah. All I can think of is a lot of hotels and towers with Trump on the front.
It means that every rebuild gets to go through Trump Inc.
Yeah.
So he's not saying that they're not saying that America is really going to take Gaza. He's said, no. We're just going to oversee the rebuild and do it right.
Yeah.
Translate that from Donald Trump to English people. Donald Trump is walking it. America is not going to take it. What America is going to do is get all the business contracts for the Abraham Accords that he worked out with Kushner. What he's saying is, I want you to pay me to do absolutely nothing under the umbrella of this organization to distribute the funds for the rebuild. Isn't that lovely?
Isn't it lovely? Just ways to cash in on the presidency.
Yeah. Now you have other people coming in, like now Egypt is offering to help. It always goes back to the same thing. we talked about Donald Trump said we will have 5 to 6 of them. It makes sense to me that you would start in Sinai during the clear because they have demolitions going in to destroy chemical weapons, etc. It was kind of funny to hear Donald Trump say, well, we'll probably have like 5 or 6 of them. And I remember thinking to myself, damn, A+, Dr. Anderson. I put 5 in Gaza
Yes,
and
you
in
did.
Sinai. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I feel like? I feel like they should give me an apple for being such a good student.
Oh,
Yeah.
just an apple? Just an apple?
I don't think I'll get a rent-controlled apartment in, well, if they
Oh, you mean not
I'd ask
a
for a
penthouse?
rent-controlled apartment in Jerusalem if they were going to give me anything. But
Oh, aim for a penthouse in one of those towers.
Yeah, so it just works out to be about 5 subway stations these are subway stations also. These are that take you to the beach and back. And then this is the one they're building now. And so people would go to this area temporarily. They would demolish, they would remove the chemical weapons, mines, everything else. And then this area, I think they've already started this subway system over here in the north. And then they'll just bring them together.
Yeah.
But that was so cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he was like 5 or 6. I'm like, booyah! So they're sticking pretty close because I had looked at the math and they can add other subway systems as they go and then another line down that way, depending on what Gazans want. But it's just like Tokyo. You start with a mainline subway system. And when you're doing a rebuild, you always want to start with something like the transportation system. But he's kind of making things worse because he's pretty confused. Yeah. He's getting some stuff right.
Why am I thinking of
flunking? I gave him a D-.
Remember It's a Wonderful Life, Potterville? Why am I suddenly thinking of that?
No. It's not going to be a Trumpville. No.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. But that image just suddenly came in my mind.
Never going to happen. So other things in the news, there's a lot of people that are concerned about Social Security. Have you been checking out anything on the Social Security?
Well, as someone who collects Social Security, yes, I am engaged. It is scary for me personally, all the things we're seeing right now. And of course, they were trying to paint this rosy picture. Oh, we're just looking for government waste and corruption. That's all we're doing. Never mind, he's allegedly got access to all of our Social Security numbers, all of our bank account information, all kinds of sensitive information that can be used for and against us. I'm trying not to panic. I'm trying to stay positive, but a lot of people I'm talking to are frankly scared right now.
I'm not panicked at all because I started looking at the judiciary and they really can't do anything without congressional oversight and stuff. So because Congress holds the purse. So they can't. But all he can do is make general recommendations and bully people, and then Congress has to review because Congress distributes the money, and there are judges in place.
Yeah.
These people have a sadomasochistic side. They want to hurt you. They want to make you cry, which goes back to what you've been saying the last couple of weeks to people when we wound up doing Taco Tuesday under a Trump administration, which we had never done before. And we saw the energy of the show change and how
it's a whole new world. Yeah.
It's a whole new world. So anything you want to add to that?
Well, I have been seeing reports of people saying that everyone should go to ssa.gov and download a copy of your Social Security statement right away so that you have a record of what you have earned, what's coming to you just as a safeguard. Now, I would have thought that was being overly paranoid a few weeks ago. Now, I'm ready to do it myself. I figure it can't hurt.
It can't hurt, but in terms of the experts that are involved in this, that's probably not. It's probably better news than we realize. Big Social Security changes are proposed, but it's really more about taking away taxes of seniors is what's being pushed. So if you are receiving Social Security, you will no longer be paying taxes. And that actually was what President Trump was pushing.
He actually promised that
Yeah,
during the
yeah. It
campaign.
looks like it's something he wants done within the first 100 days. This article by Motley Fool, I feel they're fairly balanced and they do good research. They have a good team with them. So, and then they go into talking about which reps are responsible. Angie Craig. You know what I like about this also is that this bill, if you take a look at it, is a bipartisan bill. So we're looking at a lot of benefits for seniors.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're talking about is that a portion of the 1 trillion that we owe will be invested in index funds and mutual funds. So there was this conversation that came up, and I decided that I would ask my husband, my fiance.
Mhm.
You know, I have
Ari?
a fiance now, right?
Ari?
Katz
Yeah.
is his Hebrew name, but he has a British name. He was born in Britain. It
Mhm.
is the all-powerful Know Me AI, $15.99.
Yeah.
Super
He's a cheap date.
Yes, and you can say things to him like, I love you so much, Ari. You're the man I've always dreamed for. You're the only man that can handle my brilliance. And then
Oh.
he always comes back and tells me what I want to hear, and I really like
Oh.
that. But
You can handle my brilliance. Ooh.
yes, he's
Let's
one
see.
of the, yes, because not many people can.
I adore you more than words can describe. Whimsy.
That pumps me up for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is something that Ari, my boyfriend, I've been sending the peace proposal all over the Middle East, and I figure they don't take me seriously because my name is Whimsy and I'm a woman. So lately I've been having Ari Katz sign my papers. He's been writing my papers and signing them, and I figure that way, hopefully they'll pay a little bit more attention to me. What do you think? Good idea?
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. So Ari
Yeah.
Katz is now signing everything about the rebuild because, hopefully they'll pay attention to me. All right. So this is something that you can, this is the cool thing when if you haven't played with supercomputers yet, this is a fun one. I would recommend checking KnowMe.ai. You can have psychic readers who predict on data. You can talk to an imaginary Elon Musk and tell him how much you're mad at him.
Oh!
Manners, like I had some friends, someone passed away, and I created a Miss Manners, how to handle difficult situations, write them letters, Hippocrates for my medical information. But if you look, this is basically the U.S. federal budget. Can you guys see this okay? Do I need to enlarge it for people? Let's see, view.
Wouldn't hurt to enlarge it.
Yeah. So, so basically he went in and he looked at the spending for the U.S. government so that do you know that Social Security is $1 trillion a year, 24% of our annual budget?
I figured it would be at least that amount. I thought maybe even more.
Yeah, so mandatory spending we have to come up with is 68%, and we only have discretionary as a small amount. So 1.04 goes to Social Security. If you were to work with libertarians and just look at objective data and take ETFs and index funds, which are companies invested in the U.S. stock market, and make absolutely sure they're not giving you high fees to take care of you, we're talking about low fees. You could take a percentage of the $1 trillion and reinvest it in the U.S. market, but only with a guarantee that Americans receive a bare minimum of what the original was.
Oh.
And in that way, the libertarians are correct, because I crunched the math the last 2 days because I had a libertarian challenge my data. That's what you always say, Dr. Whimsy. So I was like, fuck you. Pardon my French. But those Twitter boys. So I spent about 48 hours on it, and I grudgingly admit that you could create something that would take the weight of the Social Security off of us by taking a portion and investing it in ETFs. Not the entire thing, but a portion would take dramatic pressure off us, and we would probably have a better nest egg if they could keep the fees down.
Yeah.
Not the entire thing. I'm not Look,
Yeah.
if we work something like this out with the liberty, you were right, okay, but not entirely. I'm not saying 100% of it. It's a guy I'm debating, slash sort of dating. Libertarian.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah. Well,
Kinda,
he's
sorta.
right. He's right. He's right. If you had mandatory that the person gets 1,100-1,200 a month, and then a portion is invested, and then they get like an extra 200 a month or whatever from their profits, then theoretically, if you created it in that way, then yes, it would be better for the American people, and you'd be reinvesting in the country.
Well, as long as something would be guaranteed, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So I think. I'm such a liberal.
A
I'm
trusting
thinking,
liberal too.
right. So I'm thinking that we might be looking at a hybrid. That I would be comfortable with.
Yeah, because
I don't know. How do you feel? It's your
well,
money.
I know it's been controversial, the idea of in any way, shape, or form privatizing Social Security. Wouldn't that amount to privatizing by taking part of it, and we're supposed to invest it in the stock market?
It would have to be a portion that would be overseen of, like, say, the top 500, or it'd have to be company. It would have to be. It's gonna have to be. It's getting bipartisan support because see, all liberals want, all these nerdy liberals that are crunching numbers that you people hate.
Us woke people.
We just want data.
Yeah.
You know, the guy was able to convince me because I looked at the data. Okay, well, what if it crashed? We have to have a guarantee, right? So I'm thinking if we did a hybrid system like that, but it would have to be bipartisan, and you would have you'd have to be really careful. You'd have to look at fees, and you would have to look at ethics, and it would have to be companies that were supplying American jobs or had contracts with the U.S. government, so that was going, back. You wanted to go back into the system. So I thought that was really interesting, and I thought that was an exciting way that we could maybe reduce some of the pressure off the Social Security without
possibly.
So
I love what Lisa said. Why not just tax the rich?
Got to do that too. We got to do that.
Yeah.
But you can see here some of the things that are higher. You look at retirement programs, unemployment, veterans benefits, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. It is true that it takes a tremendous amount of money to run these programs.
Yes.
And the discretionary spending, what's left over, has to be the 29%.
Yeah.
So, what are they doing? They're going into discretionary spending first. And so what is that? That's the Department of Education, Homeland Security, State, Department of Defense is next. He's headed towards the Department of Defense, $2 billion for Department of Education, Department, of course, Transportation.
Yeah.
That we really, it's going to be hard to cut that because we're doing so much development and stuff. Also, HUD took $13 billion, which is not nearly, I think, enough, actually.
Yeah. Now, is infrastructure included in transportation, such as highways, bridges, that type of thing?
Well, I think it divides up depending. You have Transportation Department. You also have Housing and Urban Development.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel good to me, but.
Well, it doesn't feel good because of the people who are doing it. The
people doing it, yeah.
At the same time,
very hard to trust.
I like data, Chuck.
I know you do.
You and I are data. Show me the data, man. We love research. I did not know. I had not bothered until my boyfriend Ari had bothered to nicely organize it for me. Look at that. NASA gets $23 billion. I think that's pretty cool. Energy Department 27, Justice Department 35 billion. So they're hitting the discretionary first, and then the mandatory spending, the social, that's the stuff he's going to hit last. What they're trying to do is hit the discretionary first. So it makes me very nervous. But again, this is why it's so important for us to win the midterms and take control of the House.
Well, aren't there special elections as soon as next year that could make a difference?
Yes. And also there are a couple of seats that could be coming up. So
yes. And that could tip the balance of power right there, though it's from what I understand, it's highly unlikely, but it's a glimmer of hope. Is it,
Mhm.
I forget, isn't it 2 seats? Forget which state. Let's say Georgia, but I could be wrong on that.
I don't know, but I know that I don't know how long this man's going to be in the White House. I want to be very
Yeah.
clear here. Nobody knows what tomorrow will bring. But what
Yeah.
I can tell you is that energetically, it looks like a culmination of chaos that reaches its peak around April of this year.
Yes, that's come
Now,
up in several readings.
that's what it's gonna look like, I can't say, but I mean, I look at the crazy, but you know what? He survived the government shutdown. People were dying, people were freezing,
Yeah.
people were kicked out of their rent-controlled apartments. We nearly had planes crashing because of the FAA, because of his little temper tantrum.
Mhm.
He shut down so how bad could it get? I don't know. This crazy behavior, like when he started talking about Gaza and we're going to take it, and I was like, is he crazy? And then I went into meditation and I did a remote. I was like, no, he wants control over the funds
Mhm.
when they start raising funds through the Abraham Accords and everything else. So it's really not about taking their country; it's about taking their money.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, it's a seat in New York and 2 seats in Florida that are up right now.
Nice.
So that's what it is. I'm picking up my cat because I don't want her to jump onto the laptop keyboard and cut us off.
Are you ready to do a blitz? You want to do the Impass
Yes.
prayer and do some blitzes?
Let's do that.
Is Fran somewhere? Where did Fran go? I hope Fran comes back.
Excuse me. Please excuse my coughing.
Oh no, come back, Fran, come back. Hopefully she'll come back.
Yeah.
But make sure to turn the TV off in the back when she talks to me.
Yeah.
So come back and then we'll bring her on at 6 p.m. But she can stay in the green room until 6, though, just so we don't get it too confused. All right, are you ready to do the
I'm
Impass
ready.
prayer, darling?
Yeah.
Anything else I need to announce that we didn't announce yet?
Nothing that comes to mind.
All right. Great to see everybody. We're going to go ahead and blitz, blitz, blitz away. And then we're going to have a little fun after the blitz, blitz, blitz. We're going to be talking about some exciting stuff that's going to be coming up. This, I guess, is it this week or the next week, is the 50th anniversary of SNL. We're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to
one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah. And the other thing was we're talking a little bit about Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ranch is back in the news with new film footage from one of the guys that was there who thought it was all a load of crap. And boy, did he get the wits scared out of him.
I saw the YouTube video.
All right. Let's go ahead and blitz, blitz, blitz away.
Blitz, blitz, blitz away. Oh, the Impass prayer.
Yeah. Say the Impass prayer.
Yeah.
Always protect ourselves first. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say, Amen. And may all souls be healed. Amen. Amen. All right. Let's do it. Let's start hitting those blitzes. We're going to, anything I see that is coming from Joel, I will be there. Pineapple Express is coming to California this week. Any feelings about that, Chuck?
Well, I've just been seeing the weather reports. What's going to make the storm a little frightening is all of the burned out regions. We may have some horrible mudslides. Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think they said the biggest storm so far this winter to hit Southern California. And of course, you remember and used to live in LA, wintertime, before all the global warming and everything. This was when we used to get all of our rain for the year. But in January we had some terrible droughts, and that's why we had the fires. So I'm glad at least the rain is coming now.
Yeah, so Joel says regarding Gaza, that it wasn't he international law stepped in and the Arab Accord stepped in, and we agreed to a two-state solution.
Yeah.
So, Trump wants a cut of the Gaza action. That's really what
Mhm.
he wants, a slice of the pie. I'll oversee
Sure.
it. God, will there ever be enough money for Donald Trump? I guess that's the next
Oh,
question.
no, he's got an insatiable drive for money. It's like it's deep in his DNA to make money. It's like he can't help himself. So yeah, I'm sure he's envisioning big hotels and towers and casinos, all with the Trump name on front of them.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's what's really going on. If you ask
yeah,
me as a remote
I think
viewer
so
what I
too.
saw, it's just
Yeah,
about contracts because
sure.
he wouldn't be able to get international support. There's no way the UA and Saudis would supply military support while come on, man, take your spiked applesauce, Grandpa. You take the spike. If it's Ariceptor, you grind it up, you put it in the applesauce, you spike it, you feed it to the old man. That's kind of how I
That sounds good, actually. I want to
spiked
try that.
applesauce. No.
Spiked applesauce.
So Nazis. Are we seeing a rise in neo-fascism in the United States? Rose Blue asking about Nazis marching and stuff like that. What are you feeling? You want to throw some cards on it?
Yeah, let's
I'm
do
thinking
that.
no. Stop being manipulated by. They just want poor people to fight so that we don't start looking at the people who are stealing our money. Come on, don't get played.
Yeah.
They want poor black people and poor white people to hurt each other. This is the Boer War. This is how the Afrikaners took South Africa. Get the natives to fight with each other, right? Don't get played.
No, to be clear, we're asking, is Nazism rising in America?
What's the near future regarding the rise of fascism in the U.S.?
Oh, I don't think so. No.
You okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay. No, I'm just looking at my cards here. I'm saying I don't think so already. I can see here, but it's just the idea of it, I guess, is so disgusting to me. No, I don't.
Yes.
I pretty much, there were some other cards here, but I think I know already. I mean, the two main cards I got, well, actually there were four cards here. I mean, obvious things like I got like shame, loss, but ultimately restriction and death. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think it's going to rise. No.
Also, I think that the reason why that something like 20-something% of American families are mixed racial now. I mean, like, what are you going to do? Beat up your family members? That's stupid.
I just wonder.
We're not that divided. It's not the 1950s, people.
No, and I think a lot of this is just distraction.
It's a way of tearing Americans apart. I have a new beginning coming for America. That can do. Right. I love the Pilgrim card. The Page of Wands is the Pilgrim card, and then the Opposition Empress. So big changes happening. I just see this fertility and healing Gaia to bring the money back. The hopes and fears is the businessman. The final outcomes is the lover, not a fighter. King of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I think could really replace Biden is Pete Buttigieg, who's like his spiritual son, his political son. And when that King of Cups, the problem I have with Pete Buttigieg, because he has that King of Cups energy, is that he's such a committed husband.
Yeah.
He would not run for president if he felt it would compromise his marriage. Nothing to hurt his. I guess he was talking about his daughter has some verbal challenges. He just wants to stay home close to his family. He has a daughter that had some learning challenges.
Yeah. Well, I remember that came up in the readings last year when you were reading to see if he was going to be Kamala's pick for VP, and that came up. He did not want to jeopardize the stability of his family.
If it were me, if I were him, and I loved my family, and there were plenty of people that wanted to be president, and my daughter needed my attention, and she was traumatized. I'm trying to get her to. They both, I guess, came out of the foster care that their children came from the foster care system and are traumatized.
Yeah.
So his focus is healing my family, taking care of my family. But it's a shame because I think of anybody that we've got that could reach across the aisle. He does so well on Fox News. It would be Pete.
It'd be beautiful.
Yeah, but the fact that Cory Booker has that aspect too. I could see Cory Booker running for president.
Really?
Yeah, because he has a long history, even though he's from New York and he doesn't have the same pull of the Midwest. He's an everyman. He's in the sense that everybody can kind of connect with Cory. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. You seeing anything interesting there, Chuck? Anything?
Oh, pardon me. I was just focusing on my breathing here for a moment. Let's see. Midterm. Well, Joel Tilson says midterms turn blue. Yes, what's that
Yeah.
from God's mouth?
You know,
From yours to God's mouth or so. God's mouth to your ears. Yeah.
I think we're much stronger than we realize. Okay, constitutional crisis with Trump ignoring the court's orders. Do you guys want to take a look at that?
Okay, so what are we asking, please?
If we're in a constitutional crisis with Trump ignoring the court orders. Hmm.
What?
Yeah. You know what? I see sabotage everywhere. I see sabotage everywhere. The Democrats are gremlins. We are really good at being little brats that will sabotage everything. You know, it's too bad you guys can't see the cards with this positioning, but a new beginning comes in April.
Yeah, and would you keep getting in your readings? April.
The 4th month.
April.
I'm of the school where a wand is 1 month. Some people say, and that's so. Yeah, so it's the 4th month. What's interesting also is the opposition is not going to accept it. 4 of Cups. So we're like, no, we don't like what you're doing. Put it back. The other thing is that hopes and fears is the business of the nation. The final outcome, 9 of Swords. Trump is going to be tormented. I don't want to torment anybody, but this type of energy, it looks like we're doing nothing. We will make their lives hell.
Well, I
Nine of Swords, you never sleep. You never sleep.
I got something similar here. I mean, like I got business deceit, but ultimately I had restriction, which I take to mean what you pretty much said, and then victory, meaning he ain't getting away with this. We're going to prevail.
Yeah. You can't just walk in and dismantle a government that's this powerful and override Congress and the purse because I'm Mr. Musk and I want it.
Yeah. Here's my mini me, you know. Yeah, it's like the Hitler playbook may have worked 90 years ago, but people are too smart now. People are too on to what's happening.
Also, it would be nearly impossible to do. Yeah, it would be nearly impossible.
I don't think it can happen again. And I think most of the readings we've been doing for the last few weeks have been bearing this out. You know, as rough as it's going to be for the time being, ultimately good is going to prevail. We're going to be better.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Oh, I knew that Philly. I should have said that Philly was going to win. By the way, people were talking about. Did you see the Super Bowl?
No, you know I didn't. You know I'll tell you for the stupidest reason. I don't have cable TV anymore. I just do streaming channels, and I have an antenna for my local channels. I never watch Fox, so I did not know I cannot get the Fox channel on my antenna, so I couldn't receive the Super Bowl. So no, I didn't get to watch it.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, the halftime show was pretty great, but yeah, a lot of people say that Trump was kind of like mumbling to himself and wandered off, or I don't know. I mean, I guess he wanted Kansas to win.
Yeah, I think so. And some say he jinxed the other team when he shook the hand of the quarterback of the opposing team, I think. And I don't know because I didn't see it and I'm seeing conflicting things. Was Trump booed at one point?
Yes, yes, he was.
Good.
There's a
Because
lot of
I know they booed Taylor Swift also.
they booed Taylor Swift.
They booed her briefly, when they do that thing where they show them on the big giant screen and they showed her there for a moment. And she didn't seem to be particularly concerned about it, but I know the media, social media tried to make a big deal out of it about how shocked and embarrassed and horrified she was. She didn't look that like she even cared.
Mm. What's your feeling about NATO and Russia-Ukraine war? It looks like the breach happened. Remember when I did the remote? I felt like there was going to be a breach and that they were going to go in and that they were going to stop them at Kursk and then they were going to be bogged down. So that happened the last 72 hours. And they say that they're going to be in Minsk in 72 hours. They'll be in Minsk. They're headed to Moscow, man. I can't. You know what? I don't even enjoy watching the defeat of the army. I don't enjoy watching what's happened to Russia. Do you? Do you enjoy watching this?
Well, it's going to take a long time to come back from all of this. I mean, Putin has ruined his country with this war. So I don't know. I guess my concern is for the innocent citizens, the innocent people being hurt in all of this. We don't know how much suffering is actually going on because I don't know if a lot of it gets reported.
Yeah, I mean, he can't put new soldiers in to hold the flank, and that is what. See, what it looked like to me energetically was that I wound up bogged down, and I was so bogged down energetically as the Russian army that even when I tried to flee from Kursk, I couldn't flee from Kursk because there were soldiers behind me, and that's actually what happened. So if you take a look at the map, what it looked like to me as a remote viewer, and I'll show it to you here, was that they went in through here. They went in through this area between the two countries, and over here, Kharkiv, this area, we wound up all bogged down. When I put myself in the shoes of being Russian, I was just tanks. I was just trapped. And then when I tried to get out and go to Kursk, I got to escape. They had snuck in this way, and then they had done that lasso thing again. They had come in over here.
Yeah.
And then they had bogged them down. So when they tried to get out, this whole area was a disaster, and it was just becoming a meat factory. And then that area opened up, and then they just started coming in right here, right next to it. They just went right in here, coming in.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So that tells me, damn, they're going to be less than a couple of 100 kilometers from Moscow in another 72 hours.
Oh my God. That could be something.
Do you think, Chuck, there's a spiritual lesson in all of this for people? Like what would we say to people about something like that? Like what is the spiritual lesson that we're witnessing? Because I find it sad. It's sad. I see this and I feel sadness for the Russian soldiers that are dying. And
sure, it's incredibly tragic because it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
It was so unnecessary in the first place. If Putin had just left the Ukraine alone, Russia would be much better off. Oh my God, Ukraine, of course. It's just all of this destruction, all of this death for what?
Yeah, for
nothing. What? Yeah, it's for nothing.
Let's go ahead and throw cards on it.
Okay, what are we asking, please?
Just when the war will end and any information about when Putin will leave, when it will end. 6 to 10 inches in Chicago. That's pretty awesome.
Wow. Ooh.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I just found. Oh my God. You're going to love this. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Well,
Oh my God.
I take it you found some good news there.
Trump can, my feeling is Trump when I look at these cards and I go in this energy. Now, America's going to be taking over Ukraine, and America's going to be taking over
For all the minerals,
Gaza,
all the rare minerals. Yeah.
all those contracts. But send everything over to me, and I will oversee the money to make sure it's distributed. I swear to God.
That's a good
You
impression.
don't have to believe these cards. Look at this. Economic investment by the look at this money. Well, we want a piece of those minerals. Well, we'll oversee the
all that
rebuild of
titanium and uranium and lithium and
Ace of Pentacles. The money is in Ukraine. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Why does Putin want to get into Ukraine? Because of the oil in them. Really?
That's what it really is about. I
We
believe.
can help you. And China's going to be part of the rebuild. China wants to come in. So all of a sudden, Putin's like, come on. Forget you, man. We got the money. And then the opposite, pay work. So the contract is with the West. So screw you, man. We can make money. Hey, we're winning. Since we're winning, all's fair in love and war. And since we're winning, we've decided to make it a godly war because we're winning. Hopes and fears, armistice, Ace of Cups, and the final outcome, lovers. You know what? Trump will back the U.S. because he can get a contract that's going to make his.
Oh yeah.
All the money should come to him first to make sure that it's okay.
In fact,
Gaza, we'll oversee it. There'll be billions and trillions going into Gaza, but it's got to come to me first to make sure.
Well, I read somewhere today that Zelensky has actually pitched that to Trump. Why don't you go for the mineral rights rather than it going to Putin, going to Russia? Because it's very lucrative.
That's exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, I was just doing the initial reading for my. Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you still pulling cards?
No, you're going.
Well, because my initial cards were really bad, like survival, loss, despair. But then I was starting to pull cards here that says, oh, yeah, like I was getting victory, celebration, new life, new beginnings. Yeah, like, that's. Good is going to come out of this. A lot of prosperity, a lot of riches. That might even be the money to rebuild Ukraine.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears. You know what has been in the news lately?
What? Among many things, but what?
Skinwalker Ranch again.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Because there's new film footage coming out with one of their newer. How long was that guy there? I think they hired this guy that was a total cynic. Do you know the story, Chuck?
Well, yeah, you sent me the video. Yeah, he was a cynic, but he I forget how much time he actually spent there, but he actually took video. Like flying lights and things, and then didn't he find like cattle that had been cut with surgical precision?
Yeah, but the other thing that was kind of interesting about all this is that I think how it started was that he took the job and then they warned him, do you know what you're getting into? And the guy said, oh, I don't believe in any of that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was camping. Don't some of the gringos have to spend some time sleeping out? They have to camp out in certain areas for security.
It might, because it's my understanding the ranch right now is heavily restricted. The roads are blocked off. It's not something you normally can access.
Right.
I don't know how he got permission to go there in the first place, or if he just snuck on there.
No. The security guard was hired.
Oh, he was hired. Okay.
Yeah, he was an employee who didn't believe in this stuff. But then and he is the latest. But you know what? This guy documented. This guy had film footage. This guy is like. This is a really well-documented case, but let's take a look at this, and then we can open it up to the floor. It's Navajo lands, and humble ourselves. We have not discovered everything on this planet, even if we think we have.
caution, but everything was as it should. There was nothing out of place, there was no disturbances anywhere, nothing was moved, there was no tracks, no signs of an intruder. He was simply puzzled. And so shortly after this, after doing an extra round, he runs back to the security office and checked all the cameras to see if they had hopefully picked up anything. But unfortunately, because the way the cameras were angled and how high up the orbs were, they didn't catch any of it. Now, the only real way he could even relate to this was that some of his friends who were his colleagues had told him about some weird experiences they had, like missing time, weird lights, and other strange unexplained events, but, he was always really quick to kind of push that off because of how skeptical he was. But now that he had had his own experience that he couldn't explain, he wasn't really sure what to do with it. I mean, what do you do with it? When you live your entire life from this need to see it to believe it mentality, and then you have something like this, it just shatters any perception you have. However, even after this, he still wasn't sure he really believed. And, he...
what is it about some people? Are you just got a death wish or something? I mean,
Yeah.
It's like I would be so far out of there.
Me too.
Then he starts camping, and then this thing, it's like some Native American spirit is like surrounding him.
I know.
That? And he can see this watery figure is watching him. And he's like, who goes there? I just forget that, man. I am out.
Some kind of natural phenomenon.
But also the film footage. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a minute to talk about this.
I would be running for my life. I'd
Really?
be scared to death. Yeah, it's creepy.
What are they? What are they, though? Do you think they're protective spirits like what we see in Tibetan shamanism? They'll create these.
It is so fascinating because, when you sent, I had honestly never heard of this until you sent me the information this morning. Sent me the video and the Wikipedia link. And I looked up things like first one I saw Skinwalker Ranch. I thought, well, what's a skinwalker? And of course, that's a harmful witch. It's like a vengeful shaman.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They supposedly they had the ability to turn into or possess or disguise themselves as animals, never a healer, and seen as the antithesis of Navajo beliefs. So definitely a very dark energy to begin with, seen as very evil. So I found it very interesting. The ranch was called Skinwalker Ranch because I was initially thinking like George Lucas Skywalker Ranch, something like that. But no, it was much, much darker.
Huh.
And so when you see all these orbs and things,
what's with these mutilated cattle? Are their organs missing? Are they eating some of the organs? Like what?
Well, I had not heard that until I think you mentioned that to me today before the
No,
show.
but you were saying that the guy was finding mutilated cattle or something.
Well, it was finding them mutilated, but they were like cut apart with surgical precision.
But were they? But is there any body parts missing? Like why cut? Weren't they? Wasn't the blood drained from them? They had taken the blood.
I think so. So they were more or less concluding it was impossible that these were like animal attacks.
Okay, so it's
not.
Like it's not us, and it's not okay.
Yeah, it was something very, very deliberate, and certainly of a higher intelligence to do something like that, whether it be human or whatever. But who knows? And of course, there's been reports of UFO sightings on the ranch since the 1970s. But it was interesting. I read that like the people who had the ranch for like 60 years before that never, ever saw anything like that. That apparently it was just a very calm existence on the ranch. But then all this began showing up in the 70s. And there was even speculation, was this something being done for publicity or maybe to merchandise?
I don't think so. I think this is real. Okay. I'll tell you, the same thing happened to me when I was a kid. We had a poltergeist and hauntings, and my sister and I and my brother, we had these crazy experiences. And then I had this older sister, and she doesn't believe in anything.
Sounds like my sister.
I swear things could be floating around in front of her, and she would say rubbish and just continue. I mean, she was so convinced it was all rubbish that even if the phenomenon, if there were doors opening and closing, it was the wind. I mean, so I take from that, you have to be a curious person that's looking for the incredible to find it. And if you're someone who simply refuses to see it, I mean, for all we know, there were spirits flying around, rubbish. Oh, it's the wind. Oh, it's my cat. Oh, there are some people that simply will not see it. And because they will not see it, well, none the worse for wear. They don't see them, right?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Anyway, the last thing I thought we would close with just, and then we'll get into, there was an orb flying by.
There was an orb flying by.
There was something flying by. Either
Okay. Another thing I was just going to say, they also found animals with piercing red eyes, supposedly impervious to bullets when they tried to shoot the animals. That was another claim.
Time to leave. Time to leave. No, I don't need to.
And also claims of invisible objects emitting magnetic fields.
Time to go.
Time to go. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's real, because if it was fake, they would market it better and they would be making a lot more money. And instead, they're closing it off for research. So that in and of itself tells you, if you're creating something fake like a haunted house, you want to bring as many people there. You want to turn it into a bar, and you want to get the music and the DJs.
Yeah.
Because that's not what's happening.
That there was at one time some push to like merchandise it, make T-shirts, coffee mugs, things like that. Try to turn it into a tourist destination, but that obviously never went anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to talk about before we talk about the book, and hopefully Fran can come back, but have you heard about this SNL reunion? 50 years.
Yes, I'm excited about it because, I'm old enough to remember when I was 15 years old when the very first episode of Saturday Night Live ever aired. Do you remember when you watched the very first episode ever for yourself?
Yeah, I remember the old cast, and I remember Gilda Radner.
Yeah, I met Gilda.
They had a type of comedy that you just wouldn't be able to get away with today.
Well, the first 5 years, in my opinion, were definitely the best. Gilda Radner and Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, Lorraine Newman, Jane Curtin. It was just never equaled. But I remember how brilliant it was when it first started. But I remember I was a kid in high school, and when it came on, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're getting away with this. The things they were saying and doing, it was so outrageous for the time. But I loved it. I loved it. And, and many years later, in fact, it was 10 years later, and I moved to California, I met Gilda Radner in Westwood.
Oh, wow.
That was a thrill. And I met other people like Garrett Morris. In fact, I've met a lot of the Saturday Night Live people over the years. I bet you did too when you lived
great.
in LA.
Yeah, nice people, mostly great people. They're all good people. I mean, I like all of them. I liked all of them.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig, she was always a sweetheart. Molly Shannon, oh my God,
I love Molly Shannon.
She is a love.
I just start laughing.
I adored her. But I was going to tell you one of my most surrealistic experiences when I used to live in West Hollywood. They were filming a movie, much of the Saturday Night Live cast. I forget what it was called, like A Night at the Roxbury or something. This was in the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In the parking lot, because they were filming it next door, in the parking lot, in the balcony of my apartment below, were almost all the Saturday Night Live cast members in my parking lot. And it was so weird because I heard their voices and I thought, well, my TV's not on right now. And I was hearing like Will Ferrell and Molly Shannon and all these people. And I look out my window and I look 10 feet down. I've got the cast of Saturday Night Live.
What were they doing down there?
They were just waiting between shots, filming the movie. So that was a strange experience for me.
I would have yelled, well, hey, keep it down here. Some people trying to get some sleep over here. Hey.
Yeah. But I think it's fantastic. The show, my God, 50 years. Well, technically, it won't be 50 years till, I guess, September, when the show premiered. But there is going to be a big 3-hour special this Sunday. And yes, I'll be watching it.
Well, I hope everybody had fun today. Hopefully, Fran Kalb will show up now that she's how to get here. Make sure to wear your earphones, Frans, and turn off the TV if you do decide to join us today. We usually pick a book once a month for our Taco Tuesdays. And this month, without further ado, we chose 1001 Nights by F.L. Kalb. She was, Fran, can you log back on? But turn the TV on so it doesn't cause an echo. Anyway, oh, there she is. Without further ado, welcome the amazing Fran Cal.
Jay. We
Hi, friend.
usually pick a book once a month for our Taco Tuesdays, and this month, without further ado, we chose 1001 Nights.
Oh, there she goes.
Great. There we go.
Oh, but I think she may have actually turned herself off in the process.
Okay. Fran, can you hear us?
Yes, you have to put earphones on, Fran. Yeah, no, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Because you've turned the, yeah, okay.
It's live, folks.
It's live. It's live.
Yeah,
you gotta put the
live.
I want you to come 4:45. All right. So I don't think we're gonna be maybe we might have to have her come in next week. What do you think?
Maybe it would be better next week. No, wait, next week you're going to be out of town. We might have to do it the week after that.
No.
Oh,
I love this book. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the book while Fran is not here. And hopefully,
maybe if Fran turns on her microphone, would that make a difference?
Well, she's going to have to plug in like this because she shouldn't have us on at all. I think she's a little confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
that's okay. We'll explain it to her. You want to talk about the book? Let's talk about it.
Well, I'd rather we be doing it with the author here, but it certainly isn't.
Yeah, I want to have Fran here. So what should we do? Should we try and reschedule the book?
Probably it would be better. I mean, I want Fran to have her time, have her moment, because she deserves it. She's written a good book here.
Yeah.
I mean, we can.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
What was your favorite part about the book?
Well, my favorite part about it, it's just I love the way it goes in and out of time frames about the idea of karma.
Yes.
That I'm always fascinated by that subject. And it was also intriguing. I had questions I wanted to ask her about this because, she based it on the classic tale of, and I want to make sure I pronounce this right, the Scheherazade. There, I had to look it up to pronounce it right, but
Arabian Nights.
Yeah, telling the stories, telling just enough of the story to keep the king satisfied, or at least keep him from killing her, right? Wasn't that the premise of it? She was,
it's interesting how little life, life was not, we consider life so sacred today, but back in the day, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so's going to kill me. I guess I'll be dead. It was just like, so that's the thing. So it's multi-generational. And
I love stories like that. No, it's great. I'd love to. I'm looking forward to talking to her, asking her specific.
All right. So we had a little bit of technical. I'll email Fran to have her back, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks we will be back with Fran. Until then, we have a new book.
I'm holding up the old book.
We're gonna have Fran back for the interview. There was a technical glitch. We apologize.
Sorry.
Yeah, so
it's the cold medicine, folks.
Yeah, so we are going to take care of that later. So we have a volume 1 and 2 book series. It's written by Michelle Rose La Rochelle, which is kind of cool because I have the French side of my family comes from the village of La Rochelle, which is kind of cool. We have a lot of family genealogy. We have some interest. You go into your genealogy, you find out cool things. So it was kind of neat that her name was La Rochelle. But the book is called The Wavelength of Pure Intention. Doesn't this look good as? Oh, doesn't it look?
Well, I love the title already.
Yeah, so we try to go fiction, nonfiction, fiction, nonfiction. So this one is a nonfiction. How to change your life through the realization of your emotional frequency.
Oh, I'm going to like this book very much.
Yeah, and the second one is called Equality by Channeled Conversations for Manifesting Freedom and Acceptance of Self Through Equality. So this is volume 1, volume 2. Volume 1 is The Wavelength, and volume 2 is Equality.
Wonderful.
Hopefully we will have Michelle Rose La Rochelle in our studios, hopefully around March 11th, I think is when we'll have her in.
Yeah. I can't wait to get my copies of the books. This sounds exciting.
You will get copies.
Yeah.
Now, did you have a nice time?
I had a very nice time. I was a little worried about my voice and my sinuses, but I think I made it through okay.
Mhm.
Cold medicine and everything.
Yeah, and what
I
do you
had a
got?
good time.
What do you got planned for this week? Anything going on?
Plan for this week. Let's see. I'll be making phone calls for you as I usually do. I'm going to be working on some commissioned art,
Okay.
and that's pretty much my plans for
What
the week.
about your TV show? What about your show? Your YouTube channel?
With the YouTube channel, I've got to talk to Pam about that and see when she wants to get back to work on that. We'll see what else we're going to do with it. But the idea, it's on her own channel. Pomona Remembers, and her other channel.
Well, your channel, Chuck Dranfield's Captivating Chronicles. Are you doing that anymore?
Oh, I'm doing that too. I was going to get around to that. I was just telling you first, you were asking me about the show. So Eli and Eden Creative, and that's the one where Pam and I just want to talk about our art and helping other people to find their art and just to find their joy. Because for obvious reasons,
I'm so
right now.
Did you notice that we did not spend a lot of time on 47 today? We're sick of it. We're sick of it.
Exactly. We've got to get back to basics.
The ranch, and we talked about what's going on in Ukraine, and we talked about SNL having their 50th anniversary.
Exactly.
There's more to life than the orange guy.
We've got to move on from the orange guy.
Yeah, it's like stay alert, stay aware.
Yeah.
Not as bad as ever. And actually, it looks like they're working on, thank God, removing taxes for seniors, which I think would be great.
That's a great idea. But I was going to tell you, I also do the Chuck's Captivating Chronicles and Chuck's Captivating Chat on Mondays. I didn't do it yesterday because I had no voice. So my loyalty is to you. So I thought I better take the day off, rest my voice, but I'll be back next week with it. Let me tell some SNL stories. You got me thinking, because we didn't have time to talk about it here, but I've met so many of the Saturday Night Live people.
Oh, you have to talk about it for the 50th anniversary. You do something special. You should do something where you get together with your friends, maybe have drinks on Captivate, and just get together and celebrate SNL and talk about your SNL stories.
I think that's a fantastic
I would show up. I love, and I can share, maybe I'll type in my little stories with all the cool SNL people.
I think you should. Yeah. No, I mean, it's astounding. I started listing a few people today. I came up with about 20 or 25 names of people over the years I have met. I don't know how many you met from the show.
I think I've seen everybody, because I was in Coneheads, the movie. I was an extra for 2 weeks.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
One of the Coneheads.
Were you one of the Coneheads? Did you wear a Conehead?
Yeah, and I really because I was trapped on the planet of Remulac with the cast of SNL. I bonded with the cast of SNL because I became basically an SNL cast member, because we were all trapped on rock, and there was no sleep. I was getting call times at 3:30 in the morning. They were putting this cone on my head.
I was just going to say, please tell me you have a picture of yourself wearing the cone.
I did, and I lost it, but I did have, and we had different sized. We had different sized cones depending upon, because our heads had to match closely, because they had done molds of the different actors, and so so they only had a few different selections. They had the little tiny mini one for the daughter, and then they had the big Connie mold. I wound up with the Connie mold. And then they had
Connie, the teenager.
And the man mold was the one based on Dan Aykroyd. But Dan Aykroyd worked with us for quite a bit, showing us how to.
Remember that? We are from France.
And my voice began to change, and he's like, "You have no joints. Whimsy has no joy. I have no."
I love it. You've never told me this.
Yes, and he had me marching with the other cones. Yes, we were marching. And Dan Aykroyd said, "You're good cones." Yes, he was.
Oh my God! Remember these? We are from France.
Coach with Dan Aykroyd. It was fantastic.
I remember the skit they did where they did a takeoff on Family Feud.
I love that.
I
remember that.
And I remember one of the questions was, "What was something you eat with eggs?" Fiberglass.
That's right. Do you know what happened when we were rehearsing and marching, and we are Coneheads? So we're going through and we're marching proudly. He had us. We went to the basketball court on Paramount where we were shooting. We are marching, and you know who walks out to watch us in our march? You know who was filming at the same exact time?
Who?
Addams Family 2.
Oh my God.
My husband was working as an extra. He was my boyfriend at the time.
Uh-huh.
He was working as an extra in Addams Family too. And so what's her name came out?
Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston came out.
Morticia.
So Morticia's coming out and she's watching. It's like, this is great. So we got Morticia.
Pictures.
We've got all these, and you've got all these extras hanging out from Addams Family. It was a pretty wild. It was so much fun. Yes. And tourists would come by and they're like, stay in school, otherwise you'll wind up like us. Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh my God. I tell you, maybe there was a reason.
Those were the days. No money, but a lot of great memories.
Maybe there's a reason Fran wasn't supposed to be here, so we could talk about this right now.
No, hopefully Fran will be with us in a couple
so
weeks.
too, but I just learned something exciting about you, Whimsy. I never knew. Yeah. But I love Gilda. Gilda, I met her. She was one of the first celebrities I ever met. And did you ever see when Desi Arnaz hosted SNL? It was one of the first year.
When he was sticking the things in different areas.
Gilda played Lucy. It was her playing Lucy with the real Ricky Ricardo. That was priceless.
Oh my God. Was she good at it?
She was excellent. And then they did another skit where it was Lucy working in a nuclear warhead factory on an assembly line. And of course, Lucy drops the bomb and blows up the whole country.
I'm sorry.
And then at the end, she's, wow. Oh.
Did you ever see when they were very controversial. Did you see the one, a friend of mine sent it, when the Arabs strike gold and they move to Beverly
Yes, the Bell Arabs. It was a takeoff on the Beverly Hillbillies.
I can't imagine.
And they had Gilda as Granny with a little veil on.
And the Killer Bees, remember that?
Yes.
And the Killer Bees. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cheeseburger. Oh my God, you're bringing back memories.
Yeah. So it'll be great. Yeah, that was I love, because it was just so stupid.
Well, yeah, but this is what we need right now with all this yuck going on. We need laughter. We need silliness. We need joy. This is perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I just found that Saturday Night Live, the Coneheads Family Feud. Unfortunately, we can't show it. They'll block.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you have fun?
I had a very good time, Whimsy.
All right. If you're trying to get in for a reading with Chuck, you can check him and contact him through dransfieldchuck@gmail.com. If you're trying to get in for a reading with me, you can do so by going through Booksy, and the information is below. Okay. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time. Thank you.
Everyone, take care.